The question that someone posed to me is there life outside of the earth other than what we are familiar with? Terrestrial life is here on planet earth. Those things that we are aware of, have been exposed to, and know of: grasslands, wetlands, the Arctic, the vast oceans, and so forth. This is a terrestrial planet, a planet that we are inhabitants of and that we know of. Now, extraterrestrial life is that which is outside of the earth as we know it. But the real question again is there such thing as terrestrial life, or life outside of what we know life to be here on earth? In other words, in the vast star system, if you will, or solar system, or on other planets, is there life or possible life? Now, some might say, who knows? Some might even add, who cares? But to be fair, I'm asking the question: if we have life here and it's the only life that we know, maybe it's simply by design. Just because we don't understand or see something that is manifest in front of us, does not mean that it does not exist. Is that a fair statement or conclusion? So I would say, me personally, that there is life outside of planet Earth, extraterrestrial life, that is, if you want to call it that. Let's just simply say that there is life other than human beings and animals on planet Earth. Someone might say, well, brother teacher, how can you prove that? Do I really need to prove it or attempt to prove it? Let's look at this. I've heard people talk about Bigfoot and there being a Bigfoot. I've never seen Bigfoot. I've seen some alleged film footage of what was supposed to be Bigfoot. I personally don't believe, this is just me, that Bigfoot exists. I don't believe it exists, because with all of the technology that we have here on the planet, why haven't we found evidence, true or real evidence, that there's a Bigfoot? I mean, we have satellites, and in the area that they say that he was supposedly indigenous to, it's not that hard of a job or task to find the creature or several creatures, as it may have been. Same thing is true in Lachlan, the Loch Ness monster, they call it Tessie, I think. No one has ever found it. They said it was in the lake or the moat, whatever the case was. They have it on film supposedly, but no one has ever found any substantial evidence that it did indeed exist or does exist. Nothing conclusive. Could it just be folklore, fairy tale, just to draw attention to that place? And there's thousands and thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of other, I guess you can say, conspiracies or theories that these creatures and these aliens and these ghosts exist on planet Earth and all these different places and caverns and oceans and things of this sort, to include what is that, where the planes used to fly over? It escapes me for now. And they say the planes used to disappear, the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, they said that that had something to do with some force or something that was pulling the planes and the ships down under the ocean, and then they disappeared forever. No trace after losing radio contact. But anyway, didn't want to get off on that tangent there. Getting back to the original premise of the video, do I believe, and do you believe, that there is life outside of planet Earth? And my answer is yes, I do. And why not? Why would there not be life outside of planet Earth? Why do we have to see something to believe that it exists? Is it because it doesn't have any oxygen in space, as far as we know? We are in a different frequency here on planet Earth, a different vibration. We're living creatures that inhale oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. So we know what we need to survive here. What's to say that there's another life form or various other types of life forms in other dimensions that don't require oxygen? And maybe there are planets in other solar systems where they do require oxygen and we just have not explored or have the capability or technology to reach those places. That's possible. Now, for those of you that are religious, maybe. For those of you that are spiritual, maybe. For those of you who believe in a divine God or creator, have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen the creator of all that is that we know of? The sun, the moon, the stars, the sky, the planets, the solar systems, and the earth and all of the inhabitants. Have you ever seen him? Have you ever witnessed the creator? Like I'm talking to you, like you see me right now. Have you ever seen the Almighty, the Most High, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah? Never seen him. But we all, most of us, that believe that there is a divine personage, if you will, or divine entity behind all life, we believe that he exists, even though we haven't seen him. So if we believe this, nothing against you agnostics and atheists, I love you too, but if we who believe that there's a divine providence or creator, if we've never seen him, we still believe that he exists, why is it so difficult to believe that other life exists somewhere else? It just doesn't have to do anything with us. It's just not part of his plan for us. We also, along with believing that there's a God, we believe that there are angels, celestial beings. I've never seen an angel that I was aware of. If you've seen an angel, let me know. Let us know. So, just want to point something out for you people that claim to be Christian, for you people that believe that there's a creator. Just a couple scriptures, and one of those scriptures is from the Bible, first book of the Bible in the Old Testament, Genesis, which means the beginning. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. That means it was in disarray and it was empty. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. All because he simply spoke it into existence. For those of you who have not read this in a while, or even have not read it at all, read Genesis chapter 1 and 2 in your leisure, and you will see the creation of the Almighty. So, to me, outside of what I see with my eyes, since I have been alive on planet Earth, I've always believed that there was a divine being. As I said, I believe that there is a divine creator that is responsible, or who is responsible for all living things as we know it, to include ourselves here on planet Earth. And with that said, that does not limit him to creating other life in other solar systems, other planets, and wherever. Those places that we don't have the capacity or the ability to explore, even. The Almighty, the Creator, was here in the beginning. He was here before anything that we have ever known was here, to include us. We are the result of His handiwork, and we happen to be human beings, man and woman. So, to say that He can create us, He can create all of the fowl of the air, all of the animals on the land, and all of the living creatures in the bodies of water, the oceans, the seas, if you will, the rivers and the lakes and so forth, all of the insect world and all of the microorganisms. If He can create all of those things here on planet Earth, what stops Him or has stopped Him from creating life before us and even after us? And if we want to term or call those things extraterrestrial creatures or beings, so be it. But it doesn't mean that they don't exist. Again, I believe that extraterrestrial beings do indeed exist, even if we don't have any sound proof or evidence that they do. It's just that simple. So my question to you now, before I part, is, what do you believe? Do you believe that there are other living beings outside of this reality that we call Earth? Other than us, in other words. Now, I know that science fiction movies have depicted aliens as these tall creatures, oftentimes, sometimes small, with big eyes, light bulb shaped heads, and grayish colored skin, and so forth. We don't know. We just absolutely do not know. But I'm convinced that there is something other than us that's alive, that's not necessarily even human. And I think it would be simple, and I think it would at least be practical to at least consider the angels, if nothing else. Do you believe that there are angels? I do. This is Brother Teacher. What do you think?